education has been dominated by left-wing groups. That's where so much of the money has been. You've got a push a left-wing ideology onto kids and control education, to take power away from parents. And so what we've said is, look, we want competition. My name is Ryan Walters. I'm the Oklahoma State Superintendent. As a state superintendent, I'm over the K-12 education system here in Oklahoma. I decided to run for elected office here to run statewide, to really run on improving our school system. I was a public school teacher out in rural Oklahoma. I'd won some awards, Teacher of the Year, things like that, and it got me involved in, what's best practice in education? How do we get good teachers? How do we improve education? And of course, when you become a parent, I kind of had that other perspective as well. And I saw an education system that was just underperforming our kids. It was underperforming what the expectations were of our state. Some of the things that we saw here in our state that made us so low ranking is, we had a teachers union, a school board association, a school administrators association that just defended the status quo. They would push things into school like liberal indoctrination, where they would push things like critical race theory, transgender ideology, and not focus on math, reading, science, history. They wouldn't focus on academic performance. They focused on the concept of, we want everybody to make the same pay. We just wanted to placate the teachers unions. And so when we came in, we brought in things like school choice, accountability, transparency, high expectations on districts. And so we've seen some dramatic successes, but what you saw was those groups, those associations, that they pushed for a status quo that just was not succeeding for our kids. So I've been representing the parents of Oklahoma and the teachers and taxpayers to try to give us the best education system possible. One of the things that we've heavily focused on was our bottom 5% of schools. They're the F schools in our state. So we came in, we restructured the way that we interacted with them. So we held more conversations with them. We pressed what best practice was for the school districts. We came in, we got heavily involved with those schools, their teacher recruitment, their tutoring models, what their day-to-day practice was, how they looked at their testing and the results there. And in my first year of implementing those changes, we had 119 schools come off of that F list. It was more than 3 times what we'd ever seen before. And so again, we focused on the low performing, we showed them what best practice was, we held them accountable, and we saw tremendous success. And so you start to see this model grow and grow. Our largest district in the state, Tulsa Public Schools, implemented tremendous changes through initiatives of one of their board members, and now we're seeing a dramatic improvement in their reading scores. They're heavily focused this year on math as well and science. And so we're just very excited about this initial progress, and we know that we're moving the ball in the right direction. Right now in the state, we have a school board association that is a left-wing organization. Our school board trainings has produced school boards that are not driving success for their students. And so we see a left-wing ideology in the school board association. Look, they dump millions of dollars into left-wing organizations and candidates. And look, that's not what we're about here in Oklahoma. We want to make sure that school board members have multiple opportunities to get a training, and we want trainings that help them provide best practice for their districts. We want districts to say, hey, what can we do to improve our student outcomes? And so we saw the Leadership Institute as a group that absolutely has a track record for doing that. And so we're very excited to have them participating in our state and providing that training. We need groups that are coming in to help leaders rise up from parents of kids, grandparents, taxpayers, to get involved and to understand, we need folks that understand the family as the basic building block of society. We want to empower families. We want to support families. And so we've got to continue to make progress in that, because the reality is if you let these left-wing education groups succeed and dominate this space, our kids are going to continue to underperform. We have trainings that school board members are required to go to that gives them a kind of a legal understanding and their fiduciary responsibility as school board members. The Leadership Institute does a tremendous job of talking through what is best practice in these roles. What does good leadership look like? What are some of those issues that you're going to face? What are some ways to troubleshoot them, and what have you seen success with? They also do an incredible job of giving you options, of letting you walk through and understand, if you find yourself in this type of predicament, what are successful leadership models? And so you look at things, we were just having a conversation in there today about what are the best tutoring practices? What do we see when there's an underperforming teacher? How do we make sure that hiring and firing in a school board level is done in an appropriate way? These are things the Leadership Institute equips the leaders to be able to do. And look, I've enjoyed the trainings, I've enjoyed working with them to see what are other states doing that they've been successful. And look, what are other states doing that they've seen that haven't been successful? That is all great information for us to take and use as we're building out our vision for the future of the state. This is a fight for our kids. When you look at this as a parent, grandparent, taxpayer, you look at an education system that's seen record amounts of funding, record amounts of resources. We've got to have good people though in leadership roles for our kids to be successful. It's not about money. That's just ultimately not going to lead to success. What is going to lead to success is school districts that develop a culture of high expectations, school districts that put transparency and accountability as part of the things that they're really seeking after and are dedicated to. And so what I would encourage people is engage, get involved, join the fight here for the future for our kids, because here's the reality. If we don't get involved, if we don't get more parents, grandparents, and taxpayers in the community involved in education, listen, our education system has been doing a terrible job. The trajectory has not been good. We have got to get the right people involved to turn it around. And so we're very excited about the progress we've made, but we need more people involved to really turn the corner.